Good day, Munir Ajam from SUKAD, and I'm here to talk with you today about the Uruk initiative, and I will be talking about 9 separate topics as we go through this video. I'll try to be brief as much as I can. Obviously, if you are receiving this video, you are already on our enlisted LinkedIn group that have showed interest in helping us with this new initiative to start up a new company for the development of an online portal for management of projects. So you already know that as if you are already in the group. So today I will be discussing the different aspects of this initiative, and my objective from this video is not to answer all questions. I'll try to answer as many questions as I think you probably already have. However, this could trigger more questions. I will also be sharing other documents and through the group, through the unlisted group on LinkedIn. And of course, since it is a group, we can always ask questions and generate discussion among the group member in order to go forward. So this video is a starting point for the discussions and of course to confirm interest so we can go on to the next step. So that's more or less the overview. In addition to this, let me start with the vision. What is the vision for the Uruk initiative? And I'm using this name based on the recommendation of one of our group member, which I like because it relates to the name of SUKAD and the origin of the name SUKAD, plus the historic meaning of the term. So what is the vision for Uruk? The vision is to help individuals and organizations, and by organization it could be nonprofit, government, private, whatever the case might be. So we want to help individuals and organizations in the project management community around the world to help them manage and lead any project in any industry or type or size or complexity, from idea to success, from concept to closure and beyond. That's what the original concept and the vision has been, to provide the tools, the applications to help these individuals and organizations pursue excellence in the delivery of product and the management of project and in enhancing their organizational performance. That's the vision originally. I say originally because it kind of expanded a little bit to focus on, instead of just creating an app or a suite of application, we want to create a portal that can become the leading portal for managing and leading projects. And what does that included in this portal? We will discuss as we go forward. But that's the intention. So we are here today to help generate interest in establishing a company to develop and create and maintain and sustain a leading portal for the management of all types of projects. That's the vision. Now, why camp? If you are new to SUKAD and my videos and you're probably not familiar with camp, I would suggest talking to someone you know that already know camp, or at least visit our YouTube channels for some of the videos we have. We have probably more than 20, 30, 40 videos on camp, why camp, what is camp, what is the value of camp, what is the strategic value of camp, and all this information. Obviously, if you don't know, quickly, camp is a customizable and adaptable methodology for managing project. Now notice that link back to the vision. When we say we want to help organizations, individuals in any industry, anywhere in the world to use our tool to manage project, that doesn't mean we are going to give them one set fit all for all industries. No, the name of the methodology have the adaptive nature built into it. So it's customizable and adaptable. So we are providing the platform, and then we tailor the platform to have multiple generic situation. For example, maybe we will have one of the apps for managing IT project, one for marketing project, event project, capital project. Regardless what industry, we will provide the basic platform to help use that methodological approach to convert it into tailored methods that are fit for purpose for your organization and your own need. Many of the customization and adaptive feature will be built in, with user can modify on their own. Some of them could be more, of course, if they are more, how would I say, more sophisticated, where organization might want something that is really more than what we can provide in a basic, or the basic model, or maybe what we will have in the market, then that would require a consultancy support and more bespoke kind of solution for these organizations, but starting from our methodological approach. Now, again, why CAMP from a marketing perspective? Maybe I will jump here for market. Today, CAMP is on version 3. Many people have seen it. We have published many ebooks, blogs, YouTube videos on this. A lot of the people in our network from all over the world have seen CAMPs, and we've seen comment that goes describing CAMP from a gold mine to it is the solution, and many other information we received from Nigeria, from Peru, from the US, from the UK. We have received a lot of comments. Plus our ebooks download, you will see more information in the document that we will share. The number of download of our ebooks, we have so many books published. Also, we have earned the trust of a major publisher to publish CAMP version 3 through the book called Project Management Beyond Waterfall and Agile, which was published in December 2017. Currently, I'm working with the same publisher, a global publisher, on developing a book for using CAMP for mega project, which we call Leading Mega Project, a tailored approach. Obviously, the book will have more than CAMP, but the tailored approach and a case study, a simulation of a mega project is used in the book. So basically, what we are saying here is CAMP can be used on small, tiny, micro projects, and CAMP can be used on mega project, of course, with the right amount of tailoring to make it fit for purpose. So that's why CAMP. And as we said, the market is quite a bit of interest in the market that we've seen. And again, the comment we've heard, we've done a survey before. If interested, we can do another survey. However, I think when we discuss on funding will be maybe more the proof of concept that we will be looking for later. And I'm using the proof of concept a little bit here from a marketing perspective, not technical perspective. Again, I'll touch on this again when we get there. Now, we said we are creating a suite of application, tools, software. However, what we want to create is a portal. And what does that mean when we say a portal? That means it obviously is more than an app. First, in terms of apps, we are producing a suite of application, and I will discuss a little bit text on that. But when we say portal, that means the portal should have more. The portal would include the high-level governance for the organization, if it is an organization, will include links to PMO, but would also have what we call the knowledge base. And when we talk about knowledge management and knowledge base, we're talking about two different things. Two. Okay. One is foundational knowledge. What do we mean by this? We can share the ebooks we've published. We can share case studies that are open to the public. We can share any other information, lessons learned, historical data that we collect from our research, from the community, and from any organization that is willing to share. So we will have a static data. By say static, that means it's a database that we will continue to build, but it's more of a general knowledge. So it doesn't help, it's not part of the mechanism or the algorithm of the application itself. Is more of a knowledge foundation for further study and research and understanding of maybe what other companies and other people are doing around the world. So let's say maybe you work for a small company and you are only a few people, you don't have a lot of resources in the organization, you want more in-depth knowledge, you will have the knowledge base there. So that's one. Two is the knowledge for you as a company. So let's say you are a company or an individual. Obviously, companies will have more data. Then we will have the knowledge repository, the database that will house all your project information, the historical performance data, the lessons learned that you have accumulated from all of your project. That will be also available in the database, which means other people within your organization can, of course, refer and use them, and maybe copy, paste, and modify. So that will be one of the features we will have in the suite of application, is that the ability to copy projects and then modify them and continue to work on them, maybe other projects that might be very similar. For example, if you work in an organization and you want to work on an HR project, and you've done something like this 2 years ago, instead of going through the paper and searching for data, and maybe the people have left the company, all the data, the information, the template, the schedule, the cost estimate that were used probably should be in the database, and then you can take and modify to fit your own need on your current project. So that's the knowledge base that we talked about, and as we said, it's two-part, so it's 1 + 1 equal maybe 11. Because there will be a lot of knowledge and data there that you can share. Now, one feature I did not talk about here, potentially, is as we go to market, one of the feature in the vision could be to have an external collaboration. Obviously, through this, we can have internal collaboration, but maybe external collaboration, and maybe even some other things that maybe is not a good time to talk about yet without spending a lot of time. Now, what would be the process? And here I need to talk about the development process. And the idea is we will be adaptive, we will be agile. Maybe some people don't believe when you're saying the word we want to be agile. But obviously what we mean here is this is definitely a project to apply lean and agile concept in terms of iterative and incremental development. However, this whole thing is about CAMP. We are launching the company because of CAMP. CAMP is a project management methodological approach that helps us take a project from idea to closure and beyond. Agile, lean, Kanban doesn't do that. They are more about development. So, to manage this whole initiative, the Uruk initiative as a program and the multiple projects that exist with it, we are using CAMP. It would be hypocritical of us if we want to develop an application for people to use CAMP if we don't use it ourselves on our own work. And I'm not saying this just because to be, I don't know what the word to say is, just to make sense or maybe to please some people. No, it's because we believe what we're doing, what we have is probably one of the best things in the market today. So this is why we believe we must use CAMP, and I'm already using CAMP for this initiative. However, when we reach the development, here we're getting into the software, starting to code, program. Here we will go into what we call iterative and incremental delivery. What do we mean by that? Well, first we want to produce, probably take a few weeks, a few months, so it's not going to be 2 weeks or 4 weeks, to develop the minimum viable product, which would be basically the app's working app with basic feature for managing micro and small projects. So that will be something we will release first, and we release it to get to the market, to start collecting feedback on the market. Of course, and we already have the vision for all the features we want to add, and maybe the additional software we want to build, but however, that will be the minimal viable product we go to the market with. We start collecting data while we continue developing. Then we start to add incrementally, we start to add features, collaborative features, a knowledge-based feature, maybe any other note feature. A list goes on. I have, if you're interested to know the detail, I have a document that shows all the different features that I'm envisioning at this time myself. Obviously, when we collect, the advantage of working with a group like you, especially most people in this group are in project management from different backgrounds, is to help also collect ideas about what feature should be included in the software. So it's just not what's in this gray head. So, but that's the idea. We'll go with minimal viable product. We start to add feature to it until we have a fully blown product for managing maybe micro or small project. And then we will launch other projects. Now here the priorities could shift. We envision right now a product that help us manage medium to large projects, maybe even for mega project as I continue working on my books and we have additional content that we can digitize. Then we can start to add, the vision is to start to add additional modules. That's, camp is more about the life cycle and the stage management. Then we start adding modules that are specialized module, which could be sold as independent software or, of course, integrate with the camp suite of application. And what we mean here, for example, idea management. How organizations manage ideas. Employees could have ideas. How are these ideas generated, gathered, assessed, selected to basically to enhance the organizational pipeline of projects and the portfolio management of project in the organization. We could have another module for change management, for task management, or maybe link to existing. Maybe we can integrate with Trello or some kind of Kanban board, Kanban board to basically to help us manage tasks. There are many additional modules that we can add. There will be add-on modules, and again, they could be sold as independent tools or integrate in the suite. So the idea, and this is why we are saying, basically, this is a long-term process. This is not something we can do in 6 months or 3 months. Obviously, our financial model is based on about 5 years, basically with the first 3 years of major development, 2 to 3 years of major development work, and then will be continuous for the other modules in online. And I will say 2 to 3 years for maybe a couple of years for camp alone, and then the other. Now business. Allow me here to go back to my notes. There's so much information. It's hard to keep everything in my head. In terms of business, what I mean here about maybe management and business. So basically, these two could be related to each other. Initially, we don't think we need any staffing initially. Unless, of course, we want to have all the developer in-house. We don't see a need for that right now. The vision we have at this time is in the initial few months, it's the initial part of this project, then basically what we need is Munir, because Munir is the idea owner and the camp developer and the subject matter expert for, of course, the application that we want to develop. But Munir is not an IT guy. We will have a lead technology person that will be leading the development and the development team. That's what we do. And we can do most of that remotely, even without, right now we have 3 different approaches we can follow. One is maybe outsource part of it. And the second one is maybe, outsource the application part of it only, or maybe work with someone who is one of our partners here, who have a great vision also, and who is quite senior in project management expertise as well, is to help with creating the portal overall. So we have multiple approach. We will present them all when we get to it, and then discuss on a path forward. But what we're saying is initially we can work from homes. We don't need staff, especially with US based or even in Lebanon. We don't have to have an office like in Dubai. However, obviously, which means in this initial period, SUKAD can incubate this business until we finalize all the agreement, the funding, and the company startup, and then we shift to a company startup. And then we'll shift to have our own base. However, even with that, we do not need much staff initially. We just need a development team. But about 3 months, maybe, this is what I'm believing, I don't know, and maybe some people would correct me, is maybe 3 months before we are ready to go to the market. We need to start to mobilize a business team, to develop the website, to develop marketing strategy, maybe to identify companies who will be willing to work with us to test, to do live testing on the initial application. So we need to develop the business team. However, down the road, if we think about, actually one more, I'm glad I have my notes because I almost forget it. The idea is SUKAD, and here I need to mention, again, between the business side and the management side, what is SUKAD role in here? Obviously, SUKAD is a major investor in this. We are we are going to get a good share of this company. That's at least our intention. So how do we avoid conflict of interest between SUKAD and this? The idea is that this company, whatever we call it, whether we stay with Uruk or maybe something else, we used to have a name before called One Word. That means the whole word is one. Whatever name we come up with, basically the whole idea is this will be the house for the development of camp, which mean in the future, any courses, any request, well, actually before I say that, in return for our equity share as SUKAD in this company, obviously we will be putting forward all our intellectual property license to the company for the service of the company. But again, here become how do we avoid conflict? So if someone comes and said, Munir, I want a camp course, who would provide that service, SUKAD or Uruk? And what we're saying here, by transferring all that data and knowledge base, anything related to camp, software, consultancy, or training will be assigned to this new company. So SUKAD will not take it. In this case, SUKAD is just an investment and a partner. And outside the partnership, SUKAD will continue to do the things that the company will not do. For example, any advanced project management that is not part of the software or related to what Uruk will be doing. Executive advisory, which I do, that will continue. My writing and publishing that will continue outside this partnership. So SUKAD will be more of a silent, not a silent, it will become a partner, a major partner, and a decision maker as well. I mean, part of the decision maker. We will talk about the management in a second. But we will do everything possible to transfer any camp related to the new company, and so we don't have any conflict of interest. And any work that comes to SUKAD related to camp will be converted to the new company. So that's important. Now, in terms of management, as we said, we don't need a big management. Ultimately, this organization needs a leader and need technically 3 major departments or 4 major departments, depend how you see it. The business department, which is marketing, sales, licensing, reseller agreement, whatever. We need operation, the HR, the business support, of course, as we grow. And we need the technology for the development and customer support. So maybe customer support will be under technology or will be separate entity. Now, I have to say this, and I put this in writing as well. Personally, I do not want to be the manager, the CEO, the GM for this company. Obviously, in the initial stages, my role is critical, so I will continue to lead. But as soon as we identify a successor that we all agree on and believe and trust, I would love to hand those responsibilities and stay focused on being the technical project management advisor, not the technical, the project management advisor. And of course, as a major investor, I will be on a board of director and I will be able to, of course, help in the continued leadership of the organization through the board rather than, and as an advisor, rather than a direct role for management. Again, this is critical for me. So if anybody feel like I should be continuing, my value, obviously I will be continuing. This will be my base. This will be where I would live. And for those who know me, they know I put long hours into any business or initiative I put forward. So I am here. I am committed to the end for this initiative. However, what I'm saying is my value, I don't want to make the mistake I made with SUKAD in the past. My value to this initiative is in being the project management knowledge expert. And I don't like the word expert, but I have to use that here, rather than the operation or the manager. I could maybe stay as the executive in charge as this company grow, and then have maybe a deputy or a high-level operation manager. Again, what will be the structure to be decided. But what I'm trying to say is this, so at least everybody is clear, that is what my role would be in this. Now, of course, as this company start beyond development and we need to grow, there will be other roles and development if any of the partner have the skills necessary for one of these positions and they are interested in joining the startup as an employee and take the risk of employment as well, obviously that will be for the General Assembly to decide. Now, long term, how do we ensure the proper management of this company? We need to create the governance structure that is robust. So it's not Munir decision. The board of director, we will have to agree on the format, usually about 5 people. Who would those people will have to agree on them? But technically, every investor will be a member of the General Assembly. Maybe some of you have not invested before, so maybe not familiar, or maybe everybody knows. So forgive me if I hope I'm not insulting anybody with this information. We will have, technically, every investor will be in the General Assembly, and they will have the right to vote based on the number of shares that they have. We will elect the board of director, or we decide on a board of director. And my vision as well is to have a board of advisor. And what do I mean by board of advisors? These are technical people who might help us with where we are heading technically, the product, the market, maybe AI, maybe blockchain, which I have no idea about. So maybe it's useful to have some people with us in a board of advisor. Now, the idea of a board of advisor, the word advisor, obviously people make a recommendation. They're not decision maker. The BOD will make the decision based on the executive committee, which will be the manager, the CEO, and the 2-3 critical people in the management of the organization. So that is the idea behind management and business and my role in this. Finally, funding. What do we think for funding? Look, I've done many calculations in the past, and I have got some validation of this. If we want to basically go with one-shot funding, all the way to do all the development we need with the company business setup, staffing, we have estimated about $1 million. That maybe sound high for some, but we are talking about here a break even in about 3 years. So, but what we have found is a calculation. I did not have a section on finance here. We will have it separately. But basically what we're imagining is, or expecting and estimating, a significant return on investment on this initiative. But basically, if you want to do the whole thing, we want to secure the money from one shot, is $1 million. However, usually many organizations don't work that way. They will look for some kind of seed capital to start up, and then once they have some substantial information, they can go for growth capital. Having said that in mind, then we would be looking for something smaller than $1 million. Right now, my idea based on the calculation I've done is about 300,000. And unless we have maybe 100 or 200,000, I mean, obviously if we don't have 300,000 today, maybe we can start with 100,000 or 120,000 until we have some prototype or minimum viable product, and then we go for some additional funding, because venture capital, angel investors, investment company would love to see a product or something before they would invest. So at least we would do some work up to that point, and then we go out. In that case, we might have 2 or 3 rounds of funding. However, what we are saying is that what I'm saying is, unless we have $100,000 or $150,000 in our pocket, when we say go, this project is over. I've been down the road where we started a venture with not enough investment, and it nearly killed me. I do not want to go through that agony again. So the idea is that we should look for roughly 250, 300, 400,000. Now, how do we get that? Well, obviously, I started by seeking interest from the network of SUKAD and Munir, because many of those people in the network are in project management, and if those people do not appreciate what they're seeing, that definitely, then maybe we shouldn't pursue it. So that will be more of the initial concept proof of the market. If people see what they hear from me and what they read, what I'm going to be sharing with you, if they think it is worth something and is of value, that definitely indicate that it's just not Munir opinion and this is a pet project for Munir. So with this in mind, then obviously that will be a first point of proof. Now, I don't know, I would love it if only maybe a few of us, maybe 10, 15 from this group, as of this yesterday evening, I think we have 29 members already in our group. If half of those invest, and we can invest enough money, then maybe we don't do anything else. We're done, we start. However, knowing that this might not be the case, although I hope it would be, what we plan to do is 2 steps. But let me go back 1 second. Even, let's say, if we get enough now, what we will probably do, I don't have a very good experience from a finance perspective and a legal perspective, but most likely what we will need to do in that case, even as let's say who's interested right now is willing to commit the money we need as a group, then maybe we'll do it to formalize it through a crowdfunding campaign, equity-based crowdfunding campaign,